Hello, everybody. This is Party PD, and welcome now to our members guide on the new skills. And by the new skills, I mean welcome to members, where you have access to all 27 skills, including all the available skills that FTP could use, such as making dragon plate legs. In smithing, dragon is gated by the members scenario. There's a lot of things that are just kind of 50-50 when it comes down to the whole members to non-members thing. So like we discussed in Dungeoneering that there are various member-based rewards as well as non-member based rewards. These rewards go down to basically just various pets as well as various weapons. As you could see, it would be Gorgonite, moles, and that kind of stuff. Anything that allows you to get this, because while you're a non-member, you end you end up getting something a little bit different called a corrupted version. The corrupted version uh, degrades over time. Pardon, excuse me. The corrupted version degrades over time, which you will also see for various smithing things as well, like corrupted dragonfire stuff. So, as you could scroll all the way up here, you can't really see it actually. I believe it would actually be an armor in defense. So, as you can see here, your melee armors have it to where you would have access to all of these various other armors on top of non-degrading dragon armor. As a non-member, your dragon armor will naturally degrade, which is very annoying to deal with. But at the same time, here it is, actually corrupt dragon armor. So corrupt dragon armor, as you can see, is non-members. The way you can tell that something is a non-member skill or a non-member addition is by seeing this big members only button right beside one of the armor types. So there's a lot of things you get access to as soon as you become a member. Almost everything in here has a member based thing. The highest non-member based attack weapon, I believe, is still the Gorgonite Maul. It's corrupt dragon weaponry. So there's a lot of things that once you become a member that you will gain access to that are not available to you under the normal kit of RuneScape's non-member based skill tree. The big thing about being a member is that it's not actually that expensive to be a member in RuneScape. It used to be actually, I believe it used to be at one point in time it was $5 a month, in which case you could still pay for a granddaddy package, which will allow you to do it for the whole entire year. Now we have that same kind of scenario called premium, but we will go over the membership types later in another episode. Today we will talk about the member skills. The first one we want to talk about is agility. Agility allows players to use shortcuts and increase the rate at which your energy, which is up here in the top right corner, recharges. Certain pieces of equipment, such as the crystal weaponry, will also require certain agility levels to equip it. It is also used to enhance several other skills, allowing players to catch more than one fish at once. So, already, right off the get go, depending on your agility level, you'll be able to fish up multiple fish at the same time, which is actually a really big thing for a lot of people. Not to mention, you can also get guaranteed multiple skill chompas in a single trap. So that's the big thing too, is that if you are hunting out there, which is another member-based skill, honestly one of my favorites. If you're hunting, you can get multiples of anything, as well as being able to catch implings barehanded, as well as butterflies. Your next very important skill for members is called Herb Lore. Herb Lore allows players to clean grimy herbs and make it into really good potions, like boosting or restore-based potions. Prayer potions, or healing potions as well, which we call those Ceridim Brews. Ceridim Brews deal a little bit of damage to your stats, but can usually be restored by using some sort of restore-based potion. Certain potions also have various other specific uses, such as curing poison, or protecting you from dragonfire without using an anti-dragonfire shield, or restoring health at the cost of offensive stats, i.e., the Ceridim potion, and are sometimes necessary for survival. Also, the higher herb level, the more untradeable and powerful potions the player can make. So, an untradeable potion means it's untradeable. That's moderately self explanatory. But Herblore just became one of the newer 120 skills, which then gave them a bunch of new baseline abilities that are absolutely crazy. And you guessed it, with this update, it gave us bombs. Bombs are cool. I've used some bombs before. They're very interesting. Bombs are fun. Poison bomb. Bombs are fun. You'll like this skill a lot. You'll see that you'll have to use it quite often in the world of RuneScape in order to actually manage the combat. everything else on top of that. Your next skill is called Thieving. This allows players to end up stealing from market stalls, chests, and certain non player characters, and other things within stealing creations, and allows you to also lockpick doors, which recently safes were added into the world of RuneScape. You can also do safe cracking with the Thieves Guild over in Lumbridge, which we will talk about in another episode. We got so many things to talk about in so many different episodes. So I hope you like these. I hope you like these guides and everything like that. So looks like we have some new players right here, or at least this one is a new player here. We already have quite a few new players walking around the area. This is not a very populated world, however, when it comes down to the new player experience. I don't actually know what the new player experience world is, so we're just gonna be on this one until we're good. Next, next member skill is Slayer. This allows players to kill specific monsters using tactics not used in normal combats. Useful in raising the combat skill as well. So if you're like me and you don't really know what you want to kill at the end of the day, go get a Slayer task, and this will allow you to then pinpoint exactly what you should be killing. Because the Slayer Master will give you something that's a pretty good challenge to you, which will also level your combat skills. So this also has the potential to give very rewarding drops unique to the very specific Slayer monsters. It's also useful for killing the Avatar of Destruction and Creation in the minigame known as Soul Wars. Again, we will go over the minigames in another various episode. But Slayer basically is exactly what I have stated already. This allows you to kill very specific monsters that can drop very specific things for you, like the Slayer Codex or various other smaller things like extremely strong weaponry, or if you end up using the Grim Reaper tasks, the absolutely destructive, destructive noxious scythe bows and arrows and stuff like that. So there's a lot of very specific things that come from Slayer, as well as being able to wield very Slayer specific armor. Slayer is something that you will probably have to explore at your own pace, as Slayer is one of the more crazier skills in the world of RuneScape when it comes to the members side portion. Next, let's go into farming, one of my other more favorite skills. Farming allows you to basically farm whatever you want, as well as being able to raise your own animals. That's right, there's something called the player owned farm. The player owned farm allows you to create an own farm and manage your little farmhand boys. And they're so cute half the time. Sometimes they're not so cute because sometimes you raise dragons and sometimes you raise like quillboar beasts. There's some crazy stuffs that you could raise as a little baby boy. So with that being said on this is that this is one of the more newer 120 skills that this also allows you to have the sister sort of tie-in with herb lore. Farming allows you to produce herbs in which then you can use those herbs in herb lore. So farming and herb are a very big sister skill. Next skill, which is another one of my more personal favorites, which I'm still waiting for the day that RuneScape redoes the skill and makes it much more attractive to do. But at your own time, RuneScape, we're talking about guides here, not what I want. Allows players construction. Allows players to build a house and its contents, such as chairs, tables, workshops, dungeons, and more. You can even build beasts within your dungeons. Every player's house is located in its own instance, separate from the rest of the game. So if you just don't want to be with life anymore, or you want to be secluded from everybody, just go to your player-owned house. And as you can see here, there's a lot of things you could build for your player-owned house. Once you're level 99, you will have the access to get the skill cape, which will allow you to possibly save planks every time you build in your POH. It's a very low chance, but you know, every plank counts when you're coming down to this last little bit here and everything's like really crazy. The maximum rooms you can have is 33, which includes the ground floor, the underground floor, and the roof floor. There's only 3 total quote-unquote floors that you are able to do in construction. Portals around the world are used to gain entry into these POH houses and gain access to other houses, allowing anyone to gain access to some of the more useful high-level rooms and furniture. What this is alluding to is that once you're really high level into construction, you could build something called the altar. And the altar gives you bonus prayer experience based on the level of the altar, which I believe I've skipped. I've definitely skipped it because I don't remember it being oh no, it is all the way over here. The Gilded Marble Altar. This increases your prayer experience when using bones on the altar, as well as some various other things like lighting the candles next to it with Marantel, which is an herb. So construction's a very niche skill, but it is a very popular skill which includes teleport tabs, as well as portals, many storing of costumes, play fighting other players, and gilded altars for big prayer bonuses. There's a lot more that you could do within a construction house, so by all means, go and explore your POH all on your own, or when we do a comprehensive guide on all the skills later in the season of our series. Next skill, which is my personal favorite, is Hunter. This allows players to track, net, deadfall, snare, and trap enemies for their hides, feathers, or bones, abilities, and other treasures, of course. Some of the animals caught can be used in other skills. For example, a red chinchompa and salamanders can be used as a ranged weapon. Salamanders used to be the old-fashioned way of dealing magic while still being a ranged player. Looks like we have some more new players coming in. Most likely some people are going to be making Iron Man accounts. As you see here, we already have one here as an Iron Man account and one here, Iron Man account. What an Iron Man account means is basically that man has no access to the Grand Exchange and has to be able to get everything on his own. And in all honesty, that's how I like to play the game already. So this game is definitely appeals to a lot of challenging people. You can make a hardcore Iron Man account right off the get-go if you want to. And most people are perfectly fine with that. Next member skill, which is another very important skill, is summoning. This allows players to summon familiars and pets to enhance gameplay in both combat and non-combat skills. Certain familiars can also hold additional items, allowing players to hold more than your 28 items that you can have here in your basic slot. It also allows for the expanded pet list. So that means you'll have a lot of other pets you could have come at the end of the day. As you can see here, the King Black Dragonling and the Queen Black Dragonling are very big, like, end game pets. Summoning is one of the other combat skills. As you can see here, you don't actually have to get any of these right off the get-go, but the Spirit Wolf is the first thing you can make as a non-member, and you will do that all the way up to level 5 unless you get up to the Dreadfowl. But once you're up to level 5, there's nothing else you can do. You'll have to use this Dreadfowl or the Spirit Wolf until you become a member. But the big thing about this is that there's a Beast of Burden, as they're called. The Beast of Burden pets are the ones you are allowed to store stuff in, as well as various other pets that have Beast of Burden-esque abilities, much like the Binding Ibis, which is a fishing companion that increases your fishing skill while also fishing fish of her own. Next is a skill that's actually very dear to my heart. It's called Divination. Divination allows you to collect energy around the world and create products such as signs or portents. And the big thing about this is that this allows you to create portents, and the porters, sorry, is that porters or portents? That's portents. This allows you to make porters, and what porters are is basically you can send stuff home without even going to the bank. It'll port it. It'll port it directly to your bank and make it to where you don't have to go home at the end of the day. Porters are, from what I understand, a very member-based thing here. As you can see, this one is level 99 and requires a diamond necklace as well as a bunch of energy from the highest level energy you could get. So, divination is a very important skill when it comes to doing some idle crafting 10 miles away from the nearest bank. A lot of people make a lot of money off of divination, which is a big money-based skill, but the reason why this skill is very dear to my heart was because I used to be a Guthix follower. Guthix died and then this skill happened, so that's why I really like this skill. Last and certainly not least, the newer skill in the whole entire world of RuneScape, excluding Archaeology, which is also a member-only skill now, is known as Invention. Invention allows you to, self-explanatory, invent, but it also allows you to disassemble many in-game items that could break down into components, creating new contraptions. These are those new contraptions, as well as going into a factory and making your own factory-based contraptions. Now, you also have this Invention Pouch. Luckily, the Invention Pouch does not weigh anything, because I have a lot of components of various things, as well as apparently 5,000 nightly components. Very interesting. The invention skill ties in with a lot of newer things. As you can see, there's this thing called the alchemical hydrix. The alchemical hydrix is a very, very good gem that allows you to make very good materials and weapons, such as the Grace of the Elves. And last but certainly not least, since this is the brand new skill into RuneScape, it is Archaeology. Archaeology allows you to extract the relics of old and then use those relics of old to end up creating whatever you want at the end of the day. You could continue to push this skill up past level 5, from what I understand, but it still only allows you to go over to level 5. There's a lot of things that are non-members. As you can see here, all these materials are up to level 20. Oh, actually, I remember. Archaeology, you can go up to level 20 as a non-member, but as soon as you're level 20, it's all members from there. So on the bright side, at least you do get a steel matok. And what Archaeology allows you to do is uncover ancient relics that allow you to enhance your gameplay by then putting it into the relic incubator in a sense, and sort of express the extra abilities that you can end up getting from those relics. This will also allow you to do ancient summoning. So there's a lot of things that still tie in with Archaeology. And that, my friends, is the short but somewhat comprehensive guide for members-based skills. Again, I need to remind you all that if you have Twitch Prime, by all means, hook up your Twitch Prime account to RuneScape. You get 2 free Umbral chests, as well as some in-game currency. Last week, we did end up getting an extra week of free RuneScape. And who knows what we'll have for the next year, or next month. So with this month being the 2 Umbral chests, as well as the in-game currency, it's a pretty good steal. The 2 Umbral chests are basically guaranteed purples in the treasure hunter wheel. As you can see here, this is your treasure hunter wheel. That's the sound it makes. This is something that allows you to log in every single day and end up opening up for very unique treasures or for any stars that allow you to boost your experience, or lamps that you could put into your experience and push that along. The one thing I do need to point out is the description of these skills. So the first thing we do actually want to talk about is the combat skill. The combat skills are what we already talked about. It's attack, strength, defense, range, prayer, magic, constitution, and summoning. While gathering skills are self-explanatory: fishing, mining, woodcutting, farming, hunter, and divination. Artisan skills are usually made to craft things, so that'd be herb, crafting, fletching, smithing, cooking, firemaking, rune crafting, and construction. And then support are various skills that support other skills indirectly, such as agility, thieving, slayer, and dungeoneering. So again, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Make sure to link your Twitch Prime to your RuneScape account. It's a little bit easier to do now with our Steam navigation page. So make sure you go and do that today to get your 2 free Umbral chests, as well as your in-game currency. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this guide for RuneScape's member-based skills. So we will see you next time for some more RuneScape action. This is Party PD, signing off.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our skill-based guide for RuneScape. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed, and all of your Steam friends enjoyed as well. Stay tuned, as we'll have a lot more guides coming around the corner, and the next big guide that will be coming out is the Guide to Gillinor's Cities and Towns, as well as a light introduction on the Grand Exchange. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. This is Party PD signing off. Make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe.